Una mattina. What is that? Shit. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella. No, I'm just playing. We're not here today to talk about Money Heist. We are here to talk about Kaleidoscope. Welcome back. My name is Mia, and welcome to Mia's Watching. Okay, so today we are talking about Netflix Kaleidoscope, and if you haven't seen the show, spoiler alert, there's going to be spoilers in this video. If you haven't seen the show, click off, watch the show, then come back so I'm not telling you something that you don't already know. Netflix Kaleidoscope is about a heist, pretty much, and we love heist over here. We were big Money Heist fans. So when I first heard about this series, my coworker told me about it. I don't know if she watched a trailer or she'd heard that it was coming out, but she wanted to see it, and we always talk about movies. She called it Colors. We looked up Colors, we could not find it. So one day me and my twin are scrolling through Netflix looking for something to watch, and we see Kaleidoscope. The lead actor, Juan Carlos, is a very great actor, so I was just like, well, let's watch the trailer. Lo and behold, it's Colors. So we're going to talk about Kaleidoscope today, and I have some thoughts and opinions, and just my opinions on it. So yeah, come on in, let's talk about it. The story basically is about a heist 25 years in the making. You can jump into the world at different points in time to find out what happened, what leads up to the heist, what happens after the heist, the actual heist, different characters, things about their life, all of that. So it's really interesting when you watch. When I first saw it, I thought, oh my god, yeah, let's get into it. And you can watch different colors of the episode. Netflix will give you an order. I had Black is the first episode, which is the intro to tell you about what the show is about, and then from there they pretty much mix up the colors. Now, I didn't know that at first. Our initial first episode was blue, so we watched that first, but then we thought, okay, it'd be fun to mix it around, so we put the colors in a bowl and we mixed it up and we watched it from there, aside from white, because online I read that white is set to be the last episode. You're supposed to watch that last. That's how we did it, but apparently different accounts have different episodes. Like my best friend's episode was green instead of blue. My coworker's episode was yellow. So they're already mixing around. So if you want to watch it in the order that they give you, it's also fine too. If you want to watch it in the initial order from beginning to the heist and then the ending, the episodes would be violet, green, yellow, orange, blue, white, red, and pink. Those are the order that you want if you want to watch it from beginning 24 years to 6 months after the heist. We mixed it up, we watched the different ones. I kept getting after the heist. Every time I picked a color out, I kept getting after the heist, which made me want to really find out what happened. I think the last episode we watched before the heist, which was Violet. I believe Violet was the last episode. So I was able to see finally what happened that made the main character, Leo, want to seek revenge on this guy. So basically, the story is about a man who is seeking revenge on a person that he claims ruined his life. He's seeking revenge by robbing his high-powered bank vault. He's going to rob it with a team of people and pretty much take everything from this man because the man took everything from him. So we get to see what happened. When we finally get to the meat and potatoes of everything, you find out that these two people, the bank owner and Ray, who is the main character, they used to be friends, and they would go on job. They would do heists, not big heists, like mini heists together. Like they would go rob people. And he was a combination lock specialist, like he knew how to pick locks, combination locks. And so Ray would be the one that would pick the lock, and Roger, who is the man he's trying to rob, would be the one that would. Roger would take the people, talk to them, get them drunk, distract them almost, while Ray picked the locks and stole the jewelry and the money and all of that, whatever's in the combination, in the box, whatever the votes, he would do that. So that's how their relationship was. Ray, he felt as though he was the one that was constantly on the spot. Roger, who back then his name was Graham, was just able to talk to the person and walk out of the house with the front door. Him, on the other hand, he has to jump out the window because he's the one doing most of the work. I think he felt like it was unfair that he was doing that. So he got out of the game. He told Roger that was the end of it. He's not doing it anymore. He wants to spend time with his family. He kind of wants to live a normal life. His wife and a daughter, he's going to get out of the game. So events ended up taking place. It resulted in his wife dying. And those events was led to him feeling betrayed by Roger and also ending up in jail. After the 7-year mark, he was able to escape from jail, and he had help from one of the heist members, which is a lawyer. She helped him pretty much fake his debt so that he can live the rest of his life. Also, on top of that, while he was in jail, he found out that he had Parkinson's disease. So he knew that his life was, drastically changing year after year. With all that being said, he wants to exact revenge on this guy. He feels like this man took everything from him. The heist members. You have Judy and Bob Goodwin, which were the married couple. Bob is a wild card, crazy. Judy, she's giving me, she needs to go find herself. You have Stan, who is a sweet guy, also kind of simpish, in my opinion. RJ, who I thought was kind of, I felt bad for his character. I feel like he's the one out of the people that got the short end of the stick. You had Ava, who was the lawyer, who kind of helped set things in motion. She kind of helped out more than anybody else did. I felt like in the heist, she had a lot of connects. She was able to do things, to kind of get things the way they were. You have Hannah Kim, who we find out is Ray's daughter, who works at the bank, because I'm assuming Roger found her after Ray went to jail and hired her to kind of like make amends for what happened. I'm assuming that's what happened. She's also a part of this heist that nobody else knows about. So the rest of the heist members, maybe with the exception of Ava, do not know that this woman is a part of the heist. So they're going in blind, thinking that, they're all working together and this woman is also a part of it, and I gotta connect on the inside. Like he's like doing that. Also, why involve your daughter in a heist when you spent 7 years of her life being away from her? Now you're about to involve her in something that could potentially get her killed. The people that they were trying to rob from, take these bonds from, are apparently very, very dangerous people. So we also have the agent Zahn, and her partner. We have to have one of those agents that won't let up. She just will not stop until she gets something. And in these heists, they never really work out in their favor, right? So they spend all this time, all this effort trying to find these people, and they really don't get the reward for it, because at the end we're on the criminal side. I noticed that now most of these shows, especially these heist shows, we're on the criminal side, so we don't want you to find them and put them in jail. We want them to make it and get the money and go. So who betrays who? I think about who betrays who. I'm not surprised that Bob already had an idea to pray. He gives off that character. First of all, he wasn't even supposed to be a part of the heist. They wanted to hire his wife and he inserted himself in the heist. Now, if you know that this person is already a wild card, he inserted himself into the heist. You guys did a mini heist. He ended up being stubborn and getting his hand pretty much blown off, whatever, right before you guys are able to do the actual heist. I just felt like this was something that was planned, not 25 years in the making, because it's actually 7 years in the making. So if you planned this thing 7 years in the making, because right after you got out of jail, you escaped from jail, you realized that your daughter was working at the bank, it pissed you off and you wanted to seek revenge, you started working on this plan. I don't understand why you wouldn't have scenarios for if you encounter people like Bob. Also, you plan a heist 7 years in the making and you only pick your heist members 6 weeks before the heist. The professor would never. He would never. And he would have a plan for somebody acting wild. He would already know, okay, we're not talking about him right now. 6 weeks before the heist is when you pick the crew members. So they're not even as invested in it as you are. You've had years to be invested in this. You just picked them 6 weeks and now they're supposed to go with the flow. Like, it was bound to blow up, in my opinion, it was bound to blow up in flames. Stan, who is in love with Judy, clearly, so he can't think straight. And he's constantly arguing with Bob because pretty much Bob took his woman. Like, he was in jail where he met Ray. Judy, she was supposed to be loyal to her, but she seemed like I said, needs to go find herself. She went and got with Bob and, brought him around, standing all that. Just real messy. And the person who betrayed the cast or the entire heist crew was Ray. Ray was not honest from the jump. Ray had other motives. He wanted to seek revenge, but he gave off the impression that he was going for the money more than the revenge, when actually he could care less about the money. First of all, he was already sick and it was getting worse day by day, so he didn't really care too much about having the money. And also, to me, it felt like he didn't care much about what happened to the crew. He knew that he did not have the money when he got to the checkout point. When everything went left, he got to the checkout point. He knew then, and that's episode red, that he did not have the money. And instead of telling the crew members that he did not have the money, he said he didn't know what was going on. He acted just confused everyone else and put everybody else in this weird panic, knowing that he knew that the money was already gone and nobody was ever going to see that. On top of that, when they finally left to get away, him and Ava are living in a nice house guns everywhere, looking over their, watching over their backs and shoulders, just in case somebody comes. They have a plan for everything. He has medication that he's able to take. Meanwhile, you got Stan and Judy, who end up leaving together, and they're going from motel to motel, calling him every day, asking him if he could call them back and give them some money so that they can, get some passports, and they're running out of money, if he can help them out. And he's not answering them. He's not giving them any sort of clue of what's going to happen, if he can help them out. Nothing. And I get that he was really, at that moment, he was getting sicker and sicker. He was just really sick. But I mean, these people helped you with this heist. Stan lost his mom and his wife was killed just because of this heist. Took your sweet time. You knew that everything was blowing up in flames. You knew that everything was coming to an end, and you made sure you stayed. If you hadn't tried to open that last vault to put that necklace in there, Stan probably wouldn't have lost his glasses, because he stayed to help you. That's how I felt. He stayed to help. And if he hadn't stayed to help you, he probably wouldn't have lost his glasses. And they probably wouldn't have known who it was. And I'm not saying that they were manipulated. Everybody has a choice. There's a consequence for every action that you choose. We all have choices in life. I understand that. But I think that because he wasn't genuine or upfront with why he wanted to do this, or what his true motive was, that everybody else were in the dark about. They were all in the dark. And he was leading them into darkness, in my opinion. Is Roger really the villain? No, not really. He's a bad man. He's not a good guy. He's a user. You can see that. But he's not the villain to me in this story. In this story, Ray's the villain. If you go back to the Violet episode, Ray is the one that came up with the heist because he felt disrespected by the country club for the way they treated the daughter. Now, they did treat the daughter poorly. Yes, it was inappropriate the way they treated the daughter. Yes, but he decided to come up with a plan. And for somebody that's never really fully prepared to do things, he's like halfway prepared to me. That's why I'm like, this is just, I don't know, like a heist 25 years in the making. This isn't 25 years in the making. Like, he wasn't even prepared for the heist that he was going to do. He was going to rob this place, and just two of you guys, the two of you were going to rob this place by yourselves. How is that ever going to happen with security everywhere? Two of you guys can't do that. You need help all around the board. So he went into that heist ill-prepared, and he told Roger about the heist. Now, Roger was trying to get him to get back into the game, but you told him about this heist. This was your heist that you chose. So just because you didn't know your wife was there does not mean that it's Roger's fault. Maybe he could have saved her. But at the end of the day, you're blaming him for something that was your choice. You chose to do that. Now, it was unfortunate his wife passed away, but you chose to do this heist, and he just followed behind you. So in actuality, I feel like it was his guilt of doing the heist was what led to his anger, feeling like he needed to seek revenge on Roger for not saving his wife, because he felt like he could have saved her. That was the entire thing. The entire reason for why his wife ended up dying. She worked at a country club. She got fired because she brought her daughter to work with her one day. The daughter was pretty much running around everywhere and getting into different places, and one of the security guard members found her and was manhandling her. Ray came to pick up the wife and the daughter, and he saw them talking to the daughter like that. They got into a heated exchange. The wife came out. They fired the wife. So he felt really disrespected by the way that that his daughter was talked to, by the way he was being treated. Even when he came into the country club, he wanted to go look for his wife. They didn't want him to go in. They kind of had like a, they were kind of giving the vibes off of watching him. Have a seat right here. We'll get her out. Like he couldn't go around. They looked at him like less than, in a sense. So, he felt extremely disrespected, which he was. But the fact of the matter is, you decided to do this heist. You did. So anything that happens is your fault. And you already knew that Roger wasn't a person that was trustworthy, which is why you got out of the robbing game to begin with him, because you felt like you couldn't trust him. So you already were feeling uneasy about the situation between you and Roger. Yeah, you brought him back into a heist knowing that if something went wrong, I don't think you would be surprised that Roger would fend for himself, which he did. Also, you had your daughter be a part of this heist. Now, she was smart enough to tell the people, the triplets, that you were going to do this, and they had their own plans when she sent the bonds back to them. But also, now you put a target on her back, because we see at the end in the Pink episode that this person following him is about to shoot him. I didn't even realize until I watched it again that it was his son. It was Roger's son. He had the same shirt on, and he's following you. Now, we don't know for sure if he shot you or if that was the end of your story, but what if this man wants to now seek revenge on your daughter? because of the fact that his father is in jail and lost everything. So it's just a continuous cycle of everything. Nothing's being learned, because at the end of the day, all of these consequences for your actions are just being brought out. So now your daughter, whether she's gone or not, and living her life and all that, she's still at risk of somebody potentially finding her and trying to harm her based off of your actions. You had 7 years after you escaped prison. You had plenty of time to just make it right. Just live your life correctly. And I feel like that was what the whole entire story is about. He just kept making wrong choices. He's a villain because he kept making wrong choices. He betrays everyone because he just kept making wrong choices. He was very selfish. Everything about the way he did the heist, everything about the heist in general was extremely selfish. He knew he had one moment, and it was just to prove that Graham was a part of this heist that you did 24 years ago, and he should be in jail as well. Okay, but Graham's gonna get out of jail in a few years. You don't have long to live, right? Shouldn't that time be spent with a daughter who lost time with you because you chose to do a heist? Should it not be getting all of these other people killed and part of this story because you chose to do a heist 24 years ago that went wrong? So at the end of the day, plenty of lives were ruined because of you. So he still didn't learn his lesson in the end. All of that revenge and anger and hurt, nothing really ended up satisfying anything. Yeah, it was nice you put the necklace in there, but he's getting out. You're getting more sick. So was it worth it at the end? Probably not. As far as Judy goes, Judy and Stan, because at the end of the heist you see that they end up being together. Judy having the choice of whether she wants to leave or stay with Stan. At the end of the day, I'm not surprised that I could see her leaving with that money and going, because she seems like she doesn't want to be tied down to anybody, but she just keeps making, again, silly choices. So RJ, I would have liked for his story to be a little longer. I felt kind of bad because the entire time, like I said, I kept getting episodes that were after the heist. I just kept thinking, well, where is this man? What happened to him? What happened to him? And when I found out that his story was cut so short, so quickly, it was just like, it would have been nice to see more of him. It would have been nice to see more of him. It would have been nice for him to have had a better ending than what it was. I think Ava to me was the second best character to me, because she helped out a lot more. If it wasn't for her connections, if it wasn't for the things that she was able to do, I think it would have been worse than it was. Was it a great heist? No, I don't think so. I don't think the point of it was even a heist. Oh, as far as the agent lady, I'm sorry, I cannot stand agents like that. Like, I mean, I can't stand agents that do their job. No, but I just cannot stand people like just won't let it go. Ma'am, you lost your family. Well, not only that, you were on drugs or whatever. You like same thing. Your choices is what led to your demise. Like, you could not let it go. You guys, you and Ray are kind of the same people. You kept going after it, even after your the agency was just like, we got what we need, it's enough. You continued to go after it, and we saw how that led up for you. So it sucks for you, but I'm just like, choices, consequences. Who gets away with it? So I think in actuality, one person who got away with it is, I don't even want to say Hannah, because I don't even feel like Hannah's safe. The person who I feel like probably got away with it is maybe Judy, because once she found that money, I doubt she went back to Stan and said, oh, let's leave. I think she left and was able to go wherever she needed to go, and Stan was left there. So I think she's the only one that got away with it. Well, got away with what she could for what it was. In all honesty, the show was it was good. It was nice to see something. I like the suspense leading up to the heist and wanting to know what happened. But after I found out what happened and realized that this man is just being selfish over his choice, it was just kind of like, this isn't really heist worthy to me. Like, it wasn't heist worthy to me. I mean, but then again, what's really heist worthy? Is there a list of what could be heist worthy? No, not really. But at the end of the day, when I started seeing what's going on, the show was I was just like, it was okay. I still like Money Heist a lot more, but the show was good. And Robert Townsend was one of the directors, so you know, good for you. But yeah, watch Kaleidoscope. What do you guys think of Kaleidoscope? Do you think that I'm right in villain being Ray, or do you have an opinion on what you think who the villain was? Who do you think betrayed who? Who do you think was wrong in the situation? Do you think it was a good heist? Like, comment, subscribe, and then let me know. Yeah, let me know, and I'll be back with something else crazy some other day. Bye bye.